Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. This is going to be game number 2 between FireCake and Has. Of course, if you have missed the previous games, make sure to click in the description below where you will be seeing the links to all the videos which are behind or ahead. Of course, if you've already seen this, you can skip on to the next one and so forth. So that's pretty much it. We're going to be having FireCake versus Has. It's a Protoss versus Zerg. And just to draw your attention, subscribe button right underneath my face, of course, click that if you are new and you like what you're seeing, and of course like the video to show some support for my channel. Let's jump into our game very shortly. And our music today is going to be featuring from Wings of Liberty, by the way. I believe it is the Zerg part of it, if I'm not mistaken, or is it just like maybe some of the epic music that they have included. Regardless, I love all of the StarCraft and Warcraft and World of Warcraft music, so it's pretty damn awesome to have that featured here. So on the top right hand side here, we've got ourselves FireCake, who is on Team Euronics Gaming, and he is from France. His opponent is going to be Has, who is somebody pretty new. He's pretty young. He's only 18 years old with 3 years of StarCraft 2 experience. He's from Team Yo Flash Wolves, and he's from Taiwan. So let's see how this one is going to play out. Our scores are about to be displayed on screen, so of course spoilers are very shortly coming. Currently we're at 0-1 in favor of FireCake. So it looks like FireCake is actually going for an expansion early on. Now just to note, this expansion was before the spawning pool. And you might recognize this music currently. It is actually, I used it in my welcome video for StarCraft 2. So my channel welcome video, which unless you've only recently joined, you probably would not see because it is only visible from the main page. Or of course if you scroll back along my videos, it has quite a lot of views. I believe it got about 7,000 views, which is pretty insane considering most of my videos get between 200-300 views. So pretty nice. Let's see what our players are building up. Looks like FireCake has got his base set up at this point, and he's going for the metabolic boost. He's pulled all workers off the extractor, so he looks like he's trying to macro up pretty heavily right now, just avoiding any of the gas. I assume he'll be bringing that back on very shortly, but for now, that's all he needs. Now Has has actually got double gases already, so this kind of suggests that he might go for a Stargate. And is he going to go for it? No, he's actually gone down for another gateway, so a bit strange, to be honest. More gateways. 4 gateways so far, so 4 gate play. 2 bases can support about 8, but honestly it's a very rarely seen thing these days. In the past, I remember you used to see it a lot more often, so you'd see either a 4 gate 1 base, or you would see 8 gate 2 base, and then you'd go for an all-in. But these days it's very rare, unfortunately. Let's see what this Zergling is doing here. Didn't pick off anything yet, but still being quite annoying. Oh, the one hero Zergling taking out 2! Oh my god, 2 workers have been taken out by that one Zergling. That is quite good. The absolute murderous Zergling being able to destroy. I wonder really, how strong do these Zerglings need to be if they can destroy some sort of alien metal robot? I mean, it's kind of understandable, Zergling versus human, like a marine, but a big robot, that just is a bit of a strange one. Looks like overcharging this pylon just to destroy the Overlord, and did manage to get it out. That's pretty nice. Just removing any of the scouting potential here for his opponent. Now just to note, this is of course post nerf for the pylons, so pylons now do cost 50 energy to overcharge, so it is quite an expensive thing to do. You can't continuously do it like before, where 25 energy was sufficient to defend off against a few Zerglings. Now you have to sacrifice 50. Looks like Roachborn on the way, 3rd base also on the way. So FireCake obviously interested in increasing his economy as well as units, which kind of makes sense. I mean, that's a bit of an obvious thing. Let's not point out the obvious a little bit too much. So armies are income supply is actually looking very good right now for both players. They're both sitting at about 1200 minerals. The only thing is, Haas does have a bit better gas, but that is expected as a Protoss player. Looks like he just put down the 2 buildings down there just to not lose those drones, and that is a nice hold up here for these adepts. Gonna probably be able to save most of those. And there we go, there's a total of 5 of them escaping off into the main base, and gonna take out a few of these workers as well with them. Gonna continue on with the aggression here, take out a few more workers, and then just escape straight back to this base, but already greeted by a few Zerglings, and I think that this one is finally going to be their demise. 14 drones have been taken out before they lost their lives, so that's 14 for 8 adepts. In terms of resources, that's probably not worth it, but in terms of how much economic damage it does, absolutely. The only thing is, there's a lot of Zerglings on the way down here now, so he is going to have to sacrifice some of those overcharges. The only problem is, he's got 1 overcharge left, but he's got a bunch of sentries, so he will be able to hold off against all these Zerglings for quite some time. Good creep spread as well. One thing I think that Zerg definitely underdoes in, or rather underappreciates in this expansion, is creep spread. I remember Wings of Liberty games where you would have creep going all the way across the map. I mean, this map is not overly huge. You could definitely get the creep across in about 2 or 3 minutes. But in Wings of Liberty, you would very commonly, I mean, the maps I think in Wings of Liberty were actually a lot bigger as well. So you would very often see the creep spreading about halfway or even 3/4 of the way across the map. Whereas here, even though the maps are smaller, it just seems that they're not used as much. And I think it's definitely a bit of a problem for Zerg, because creep is a lot better than you'd think. I mean, not only does it grant you vision, it also grants you movement speed on creep. So it's definitely a useful thing to have. Looks like 4 sentries. Oh, I think I know what's going on here. He might bring them into the main base and then just continuously force field the ramp while he brings up his reinforcing units. He got himself blink. Yeah, he'll definitely be able to blink. Oh, here we go. More stalkers. Yeah, he'll be able to bring those on over here and just blink straight into the main base while continuously force fielding this. This was actually a lot more common about 2 months ago, maybe in January 2016. But these days just seems to be a bit of a not so much used thing. So I'm not sure if I mentioned this at the start of this game, but what a question of the series, by the way, is if you could buff one StarCraft 2 unit, which would it be? Let me know in the comment section below. I would really much appreciate your comments. That would be super cool if you guys looked at the depths running past in here. I think he's going to cancel those. Oh no, he doesn't actually cancel them. Oh, I think he tried to distract his opponent, but looks like didn't quite work out. And there we go, the force fields are on the map, but this is completely overrunning him. Even without the force field aggression into the main base, he's just completely overrunning his opponent right now. The army supply is very similar, but that is of course because there's a lot of roaches and Zerglings being created at the moment as well. But it does look like FireCake has held off here, so Has did really good with this, but not quite enough units to completely dominate his opponent. The only thing of course is he's destroyed 18 drones here, so is this going to be the first game for Has that he's won? Ooh, taking out that was a good snipe there with the Ravager. Reinforcements is coming in here for Has. He doesn't have a whole lot of army supply, to be honest, so definitely gonna have to be a little bit more careful. I need to skip ahead on this music just a little bit. It seems to be very, very creepy and very, very dark. In fact, let's go backwards. There we go, something much more cheerful. We got ourselves it just so doesn't suit the mood though, does it? It's like we got this huge engagement, there's a lot of creep, it's everything is dark and scary, and then but that's fine. We love having weird things. That's how we do things here. It's the SCV community. Let's see, he's moving on away here. I'm gonna see no base that is being put down, but of course looks like FireCake might be thinking about that. Probably not quite right now though, since he needs to defend off against this Protoss army that is coming towards his way, which of course he has seen. The only problem is these creep tumors all getting taken out now. So in a few moments, there's going to be no more vision here for FireCake. So has very, very much focusing on taking those out. And he's done a mighty beautiful job at doing so. And he's destroyed a lot of that vision. Now this Overseer, or this Overlord, is going to spot that there's an expansion. This is quite good. This one's going to move down here. Probably going to take out this one free probe. Oh, is he going to focus it down? Nope, he hasn't actually decided to focus it down, so he's just attacking the Nexus for now. Doesn't really need to bring that many Stalkers over here, but hey, if he decides to, that's fine. I am perfectly fine with any decision that he decides to make. And honestly, WCS, I mean, so far all the games have been so long, which I think is so beautiful. It's bringing back memories of the original StarCraft 2 that came out, where we would have quite long games. Pretty much every game, unless there's some cheese going on, would be a macro game, and this is exactly what we're seeing so far in this tournament, which I think is absolutely beautiful. I do love myself some long games, and it looks like Dark Templar's gonna start doing damage here. Are they gonna manage to snipe off this hatchery? There is an Overseer in the air. This one Dark Templar did a nice bit of damage, but finally getting taken out. Oh, it's actually safe. He has brought it away. He was distracting his opponent with these Stalkers over here. And this Dark Templar is so hard to see. Looks like he's putting down a few cannons. This is definitely odd behavior for a pro player. Putting down cannons on your base, or at least a lot of cannons. Usually you put down, you know, one or something for air units, but seeing that many is a little bit strange. Okay, and we're back to the dark and aggressive music. Has moving forward with his Protoss units. He's got himself 2 mortals and 4 sentries, so he's going to be able to put the hurt on FireCake here. I almost called him Snoot. Blink's being used as well. Is he going to do some force fields? Yes, he is. Just pick off a few units. I don't think that was the best of force fields, because he only picked off about 3 or 4 units with that. But looks like there is, on the other hand, a big Zealot drop. That is a lot of Zealots. Look at that. It's about 13 or 14 that he actually dropped off there. And he's backing off with his main army and is going to start to take out this hatchery. I think there's going to be no stopping it at this point. There is quite a lot of Zealots here. Just focus it down, destroyed it. And there we go. Moving into the expansion here as well with his main army. But not quite all of it. He did actually split up his units. There is, oh no, these 2 lurkers. These 2 lurkers getting free nukes onto here. There's three more lurkers over here right on top of that infestation pit. And it looks like he's interested in focusing down the hatchery here. Is he going to get it down? I don't think he will. He should be able to hold off here just fine. And FireCake is actually hurting right now. His army supply is not great. His worker supply is not great. And his opponent is on 4 bases. 4 base Protoss, very, very difficult to deal with indeed. And he's going to have to back off. And he's going to have to fortify, because if he continues on with this, he's going to lose all of his units. And then Haas is just going to, or rather FireCake, sorry, what am I saying? FireCake might come back if he loses all of his units to a bigger army of Zerg. So he'll go back. He'll bring his reinforcements in. And then he'll continue on with the aggression, which is exactly what he needs to do. Has FireCake on the defensive right now. He has him on the ropes, just holding on, barely managing to survive. And here we go, big blink going in here. A lot of these units getting surrounded as well. As you can see, these drones not quite getting focused down, but the hatchery has been taken out. Blinking on away, is now safe. And what is he going to do here? He's got himself a lot of Stalkers. He seems to be really, really focused on these Stalkers, nothing else. Which honestly, it's actually, again, it's an old strategy. It's something that we don't see as much anymore. And I think we definitely need to, because Wings of Liberty times were pretty damn awesome. Seeing a big, massive Stalker army coming towards you is very... It's very kind of monotonous in terms of play style, because you're just building one unit. But boy, did that create some crazy, crazy fights. One thing I think that Haas needs to bring out right now is Disruptors. Disruptors could very, very well turn this in his favor, or even Colossi versus Lurkers. Colossi could be doing quite well. And it looks like we got ourselves another warp in of Zealots. The Warp Prism gonna start to take damage. There's not a whole lot of Zealots being warped in this time though. And that could probably be to do with the income. So imagine to snipe off this one hatchery. Is he going to take out the infestation pit? No, he doesn't. He doesn't seem to be worried about infestors too much. Now these Zealots have managed to take out the hatchery. That's quite good play here. Probably just from the distraction of the units. And oh no, the Roachborn! Oh, FireCake, you are in a lot of trouble right now, buddy. And I think that this might just be it. I mean, let's have a look at the income tab. 500 minerals per minute and has his 1500. FireCake also has no bases other than his main base right now. And his main base is very, very soon going to get mined out fully. And I think that Haas actually has this game. And no pun intended, has the game. This, I believe, is going to bring the series up to 1 apiece. And GG has been called here. FireCake losing the second game, has taken it for himself. And that is pretty much that. I hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to leave the video a thumbs up. Subscribe, of course, if you are new and you like what you see. And I will see you guys in the next game, which is going to be game number 3. Good luck, take care, and I will see you guys next time.